Good afternoon. This is All India Radio. I'm Anuja Kumar and with me is Anita Anand with the Midday News. The headlines. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh appreciates the role of Navy in Operation Samudra Setu and innovation in fighting coronavirus pandemic. Over 20 lakh people in the country recover from COVID-19. Recovery rate improves to 73.64%. RBI releases framework for Pan-India entity for retail payments. Supreme Court holds CBI probe lawful in the death of actor Sushant Singh Rajput. Asks Mumbai police to cooperate in probe. And India reaffirms its deep commitment to be a development partner of Bangladesh. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh has lauded the role of Navy in Operation Samudra Setu. Addressing top commanders of the Navy, Mr. Singh appreciated Navy's innovations in fighting COVID-19 pandemic. On the first day of the Naval Commanders Conference, Navy Chief Admiral Karambir Singh also addressed the top commanders of the Navy. The three-day conference is a biennial conference which was to be held in April but was postponed due to the pandemic. Our correspondent reports security in the Indian Ocean amidst the situation at the LAC in Ladakh is on the agenda apart from the Navy's modernization. The training of manpower and welfare of personnel will also be reviewed. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has urged the citizens to take precautions during the ongoing monsoon season due to the prevailing COVID-19 pandemic. In a tweet, Mr. Modi said, "This is the time when tropical and vector-borne diseases spread and right precautions need to be taken." The Prime Minister said the government is also closely monitoring the situation and ensuring care to those affected. Meanwhile, Health and Family Welfare Minister Harshvardhan held a review meeting with the Delhi government officials and the city's municipal corporations over the preparedness to check vector-borne diseases in the national capital. He said it is important to take measures to control these diseases like dengue, chikungunya and malaria. Dr. Harshvardhan said the meeting was necessary as everyone was busy in battling COVID-19. He said it is important to have a meeting so that vector-borne diseases are not ignored. The Health Minister said last year around 5,000 cases of dengue were reported in Delhi and it is important to be better prepared to deal with such diseases.
With sustained, preemptive and timely interventions, over 2 million people in the country have successfully recovered from COVID-19 so far. The recovery rate continues to register its upward trend and stands at 73.64% as on today. India registered over 60,000 recoveries in the last 24 hours, which is also the highest number of recoveries from COVID-19 in a single day. So far, a total of 20,37,870 people have recovered in the country. The case fatality rate continues to show steady decline and now stands at 1.91%. Nearly 30 states and union territories in the country have even lower fatality rate than the national average. The Health Ministry said that around 64,000 new cases of COVID-19 were registered in the country in the last 24 hours, taking the total number of cases to 27,67,274. The positivity rate is also witnessing a steady decline and now stands at around 7.72% of the total samples tested for COVID. Presently, the total number of active cases in the country is 6,76,514. In a single day, 1,092 deaths were reported, taking the toll to 52,889. India is continuously stepping up its COVID testing capacity. Over 8 lakh samples were tested in the country in the last 24 hours. The Union Health Ministry said it is rigorously following the test, track and treat strategy. It said that the strong resolve and determination of the Union government, along with the states and union territories, have resulted in rapidly increasing the number of tests done per day. The week-wise average daily test conducted has witnessed a sharp increase from around 2.3 lakh in the first week of July 2020 to around 8 lakh in the current week. With 8,01,518 testings yesterday, the cumulative COVID sample tests done so far in the country has further risen to reach 3,17,42,782 tests. The government said that the strong determinant of this milestone has been a sustained expansion of testing labs across the country. From merely one lab in January this year, the country today has 1,486 labs. Out of these, 975 are government labs, while the remaining 511 are private labs.
In Delhi, a total of 1,374 new confirmed cases of coronavirus were reported during the last 24 hours, taking the total number of cases to 1,54,741. The Delhi government has confirmed that over 1,39,000 people affected with coronavirus have been cured so far. In the last 24 hours, 1,146 people have recovered and 12 deaths were reported in the national capital, taking the toll to 4,226. Presently, the total number of active corona cases in the national capital is 11,068. In Rajasthan, 699 persons tested positive for COVID-19 during the last 24 hours, taking the cumulative tally to 64,676 in the state. The number of active cases has also gone up to 14,684. 10 deaths were reported due to COVID infection, taking the state's toll to 908. Our correspondent reports that the positive cases are being increased in the state, but the fatality rate has been decreased in the state.
Highest 224 persons tested positive in Alwar district today, while 209 cases have been reported from Bikaner. For the first time, 59 different places in capital Jaipur reported 247 cases yesterday, indicating that the virus has spread to almost all parts of the city. The state government has decided to increase beds with oxygen facility at all the district hospitals and hospitals attached to medical colleges. Health Minister Dr. Raghu Sharma has said that corona cases have increased in the state at a few places due to super spreaders. He said that random sampling is being done of milk vendors, vegetable vendors and shopkeepers so that spread of infection could be controlled. Jitendra Dwivedi, AIR News, Jaipur.
In Gujarat, 1,126 new cases of COVID-19 recorded yesterday. According to the State Health Department, the recovery rate improved further and reached up to 78.71%. More from our correspondent.
More than 14,15,000 tests have been carried out in the state till date. Record 57,234 tests were carried out yesterday. Out of 1,126 new cases, the maximum 175 new cases reported from Surat. Total cases of COVID-19 in the state have gone up to 80,942. At present, 14,410 active cases in the state, out of which 78 patients are on ventilator. The total patients recovered from COVID-19 have gone up to 63,710. 20 patients have lost their lives yesterday, taking the total deaths due to COVID-19 in the state up to 2,822. Meanwhile, Ahmedabad Municipal Corporation has added 18 new areas in the micro-containment zone after detection of new cases. Yogesh Pandya, AR News, Ahmedabad.
In Telangana, the total COVID-19 cases have reached 95,700 with 1,763 fresh cases reported during the past 24 hours. 1,789 more patients recovered from COVID-19, improving the recovery rate to 77.31%. With this, the number of recovered patients in the state has risen to 73,991. 8 more died yesterday, taking the death toll to 719.
In Karnataka, Medical Education Minister Dr. K. Sudhakar held a video conference with the government and private laboratories today to augment the COVID testing capacities. He agreed to extend all possible logistics to increase the tests in the state. The State War Room has launched a new service today to upload the COVID tests on a portal. Those tested for COVID can feed their SRF ID in www.covidwar.karnataka.gov.in portal to know the test results. On being positive, they can contact 108 helpline for emergency and Atma Mitra number 14410 for COVID-related medical help. More from our correspondent.
Karnataka has conducted 21,34,174 tests across 100 labs, and out of which 15,82,449 are RT-PCR tests and 5,51,725 are rapid antigen tests. In a single day yesterday, the state had conducted 59,088 tests. Out of 21,34,174 tests, those found positive are 2,40,948 persons, thereby recording a positivity rate of 11.29%. Though the surge in COVID cases continues in the district, the recovery rate is also improving. The recovery stands at 63%, 35% are active cases, and death rate is around 2%. Sudhindra, AIR News, Bengaluru.
In Mizoram, 45 new coronavirus infection cases were detected and 7 patients recovered during the last 24 hours. With this, the total number of COVID-19 cases in the state has reached 860. According to the official statement, out of the new found cases, 2 persons had no travel history. In the state, 379 patients have been discharged after recovery so far, and presently 481 patients are undergoing treatment.
Australia has said that it has already secured access to a promising coronavirus vaccine and will be able to offer free doses to its entire population of 25 million people. The vaccine is being developed by the pharmaceutical company AstraZeneca and Oxford University. Prime Minister Scott Morrison said that if clinical trials are successful, the deal with AstraZeneca would secure early access for every Australian. He said it was likely that vaccinations would be mandatory. In our series Experts Speak on All India Radio, we bring you the views of the leading medical experts on COVID-19. Talking to AIR News, Dr. Ambuj Roy from the Department of Cardiology of AIIMS advised elderly people and those suffering from other diseases like hypertension and cancer to take extra precautions to avoid the infection.
They have to be extra cautious. So the elderly, the people who already have heart disease, people who have had brain strokes, people who have lung disease, people who have some kind of cancer, or people who have low immunity, people with diabetes, hypertension, in general, people who are more than 65 years of age, they're much more prone to a more severe form of the disease if they get the disease.
Dr. Naresh Gupta of LNJP Hospital, Delhi, tells people to maintain hygiene and social distancing.
It's very important to maintain the social distancing and the isolation because there is no treatment for coronavirus. The only way we can control this disorder is prevention, and that is the reason social distancing is very important.
The Reserve Bank of India has unveiled the framework for setting up of Pan-India umbrella entity for retail payments. As per the framework, companies with a net worth of over 500 crore rupees will be eligible to set up an umbrella entity, which among other things will be permitted to set up, manage and operate new payment systems in the retail space comprising ATMs, white label POS, Aadhaar-based payments and remittance services. The entity will be expected to monitor national as well as international developments so as to avoid shocks and frauds that may adversely affect the system and the economy in general. President Ramnath Kovind paid floral tributes to former President of India Dr. Shankar Dayal Sharma on his birth anniversary at Rashtrapati Bhavan today. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu remembered the former president and said he was a multifaceted personality, a scholar, a prominent lawyer, a freedom fighter and a writer of repute. He said Dr. Shankar Dayal Sharma will always be remembered for his contribution to nation building.
The Supreme Court today held that the Central Bureau of Investigation's CBI's probe into the FIR lodged against actress Riya Chakraborty in connection with the death of Sushant Singh Rajput is lawful. The Apex Court further directed the Mumbai police to hand over all the evidence in the case to the CBI. That judgment was passed by a single-judge bench of Justice Rishikesh Roy. The court also directed the CBI to look into any other cases registered in future in relation to the death of Rajput. The Maharashtra government has been ordered to assist the CBI in the investigation. The court also held that the FIR lodged in Bihar was lawful. On July 30th, Jia Chakraborty moved the Supreme Court seeking transfer of the case lodged against her. After the order was pronounced, the Maharashtra government sought to appeal against it. However, the court declined to entertain the same. You are listening to the Midday News on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh appreciates role of Navy in Operation Samudra Setu and innovation in fighting coronavirus pandemic. Over 20 lakh people in the country recover from COVID-19. Recovery rate improves to 73.64%. RBI releases framework for pan-India entity for retail payments. Supreme Court holds CBI probe lawful. In the death of actor Sushant Singh Rajput, asks Mumbai police to cooperate in probe. And India reaffirms its deep commitment to be a development partner of Bangladesh. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle @AIR News Alerts.
The Maharashtra State Road Transport Corporation has decided to set up petrol pumps in the state to increase its earnings and overcome the losses incurred due to the outbreak of COVID-19. State Transport Minister Anil Parab, who is also the chairman of MSRTC, made this announcement yesterday. A report.
MSRTC, the lifeline of rural Maharashtra, popularly known as ST, is all set to run petrol pumps in the state and has signed an MOU with Indian Oil Corporation. Due to COVID-19 pandemic, the cash-strapped corporation is adopting different options to increase its revenue. The corporation has already started freight services by modifying its buses as well as tire remolding plants across the state on commercial basis, and these initiatives are getting good response. Moving ahead in this direction, MSRTC will open 30 petrol pumps and 5 LNG stations in its vacant premises all over the state. Indian Oil Corporation will build the petrol pumps and they will be operated by MSRTC. Maharashtra Transport Minister Anil Parab has expressed confidence about the new initiative to provide a stable source of income to MSRTC. Shailesh Patil, AIR News, Mumbai.
India has once again reaffirmed its deep commitment to be a development partner of Bangladesh. Foreign Secretary Harshvardhan Shringla called on Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina to discuss various issues of mutual importance. Foreign Secretary Shringla will conclude his Bangladesh visit today.
The two-day visit of Foreign Secretary Harshvardhan Shringla to Bangladesh marks a sharpened focus on India's neighborhood first policy. It is the first visit of the Foreign Secretary abroad after the corona pandemic broke out. In his meeting with Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, Foreign Secretary Shringla discussed issues like development, partnership, enhancing connectivity, assistance on COVID-19 and post-COVID-19 cooperation to revive the economy. They also discussed joint commemoration of the birth centenary of Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. Satisfaction was expressed that despite the COVID pandemic, both sides could sustain momentum in bilateral ties, particularly in the areas of connectivity and trade. Rajesh Jha for AIR News, Dhaka.
A giant statue of Buddha in China has had its toes dampened by floodwaters for the first time since the 1940s. The 71-meter-tall statue, a UNESCO heritage site, was carved out of a rock face near Chengdu in Sichuan province around the 8th century AD. It is normally high above the waterline, but the area has been hit by the worst flooding in 70 years. More than 1 lakh people had to be moved to safety. The statue is a hugely popular attraction and often included in cruises along the nearby Yangtze River and Three Gorges. State media said 180 tourists had to be rescued from the state side as waters arose. Malian President Ibrahim Boubacar Keita has announced his resignation amid a military coup. He announced his resignation last night on state television hours after mutinous soldiers fired shots into the air outside his home before detaining him. The dramatic development comes after more than 2 months of regular demonstrations calling for him to step down 3 years before his final term was due to end. Speaking on national broadcaster ORTM, a distressed Keita said his resignation is effective immediately. A banner across the bottom of the television screen referred to him as the outgoing president.
Back home, Election Commissioner Ashok Lavasa's resignation has been accepted by the President. He will join the Philippines-based Asian Development Bank ADB as the Vice President next month. Mr. Lavasa had submitted his resignation to President Ramnath Kovind yesterday and had requested to be relieved by the end of this month. Last month, the ADB had announced his appointment to the post of its Vice President. Housing and Urban Affairs Minister Hardeep Singh Puri today reviewed the implementation status and progress of PM Swanidhi scheme with state urban development ministers, chief secretaries, municipal commissioners, directors general of police and other senior officials of different states and union territories. The minister said in a series of tweets that PM Swanidhi is a visionary scheme announced by Prime Minister Narendra Modi to help street vendors overcome the difficulties posed by the pandemic. It aims to provide microcredit facilities and bring these beneficiaries into the formal economic sphere. Mr. Puri said this is a positive step towards the making of an Atmanirbhar Bharat where every Indian is a stakeholder in the nation's progress and way forward.
In our series on Atmanirbhar Bharat, today we bring you a special story on rail bicycle. Indian Railways has introduced an innovative system to ensure passenger security in the country. Recently, the national transporter introduced a novel mechanism, rail bicycle, to quickly travel on rail tracks for inspections, monitoring and urgent repairs. The Railway Ministry said during monsoon seasons, sometimes the situation becomes very difficult, causing unwanted detention of train services. With the help of rail bicycle, any emergency location can be easily reached for urgent repairs. Apart from emergency situations, rail bicycle is also very helpful for hot weather patrolling as well as daily monitoring of the rail tracks. Due to the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, some of the sections over the Indian Railways network are currently closed for traffic. In these sections, rail bicycle is used for patrolling, ensuring safety and security. Rail bicycle is a lightweight structure of around 20 kilograms and can be lifted by just one person. The cycle has been easily assembled and dismantled by one person. The average speed of the rail bicycle is 10 kilometers per hour and the maximum speed is 15 kilometers per hour. The rail bicycle can carry two persons. Railways has said that these rail bicycles can be easily manufactured at very economical rates. The total cost of the rail bicycle is around 5,000 rupees. The Supreme Court today dismissed a plea questioning setting up of a three-member judicial commission led by former Apex Court Judge Justice B.S. Chauhan to inquire into the encounter of gangster Vikas Dubey. A bench headed by Chief Justice S.A. Bobde said that there were enough safeguards to ensure fair inquiry by the judicial panel into the encounter which took place in Kanpur. On 11th of August, the bench, also comprising Justices A.S. Bopanna and V. Ramasubramanian, said that it would not allow anyone to cast aspersions on the basis of media reports on the retired Apex Court judge heading the panel. The verdict came on a plea filed by an advocate seeking reconstitution of the Inquiry Commission and substituting its members.
In the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, Lieutenant Governor Manoj Sinha paid a visit to Ganderbal yesterday and reviewed the ongoing development projects in the district. He also met various delegations there. It was his first visit outside Srinagar city, which came 3 days after high-speed 4G mobile internet services were restored in the district along with Udhampur in Jammu region on trial basis till 8th of next month. In Ganderbal, Sinha inaugurated 12 completed developmental projects and laid foundation stone of 3 projects of public importance. He inspected the ongoing work of widening and 4-laning of the road from Padach Chowk to Bihama Chowk. The News Services Division of All India Radio in its bilingual live phone-in program today will bring you a special discussion on COVID-19. Dr. Sanjay Pandey of GB Pant Hospital will participate in the discussion. Listeners can ask questions to the experts on toll-free telephone number 1800-115767. One can also ask questions on telephone number 011-2331-4444 and post queries on our Twitter handle @AIR News Alerts by hashtag AskAIR. This can be heard tonight on FM Gold channel and additional frequencies from 9:30 p.m. onwards.
National capital Delhi was lashed by heavy rain since early morning today, leading to a drop in the mercury from 31 degrees to 26 degrees and waterlogging in some areas. Met Department said more rainfall is likely during the day. Incessant rains led to waterlogging in many areas and affected traffic movement on key roads during morning rush hours, causing severe inconvenience to commuters. In Uttarakhand, incessant heavy rains have lashed the different parts of the state. Many roads have been blocked following the landslides and debris. More from our correspondent.
Gangotri, Badrinath and Kedarnath roads have been blocked due to landslides at some places. As per reports, Ghat Pithoragarh, Kalmansiari, Jaljibi, Madhkot roads in Pithoragarh have also been damaged in Kumaon division. Many link roads in different parts of the state have also been blocked due to heavy rain. Normal life has been disrupted following the incessant rain in remote areas. State capital Dehradun has also witnessed rain today. The district administration has deployed the team to open the roads. Met Department predicts heavy to very heavy rainfall with intense spells likely to occur in some areas of the state in the coming 24 hours. Raghavesh Pandey, AIR News, Dehradun.
In Madhya Pradesh, torrential rainfall has occurred at many places in the state in the last 24 hours. The Met Department has said that light to moderate rains are likely at most places in the state during the next 24 hours.
The monsoon is once again active in Madhya Pradesh and many parts of the state have been facing continuous rain for the last few days. 13 gates of Bargi Dam have been opened in Jabalpur, due to which there is a danger of flooding in many districts including Hoshangabad, Mandla and Raisen. The road between Bhopal and Sagar has been closed due to the heavy rain and rise of water level in Parasari River in Raisen district. On the other hand, gates of Vansagar Dam in Shahdol district were also opened due to an increase in water level. There was light rain in the capital Bhopal too this morning. The Met Department has predicted that this trend of rain may continue till August 24. Sanjeev Sharma, AIR News, Bhopal.
Karnataka Deputy Chief Minister Govind Karjol paid a visit to the flood-affected village of Mirji in Mudhol Taluka of Bagalkot district today. He interacted with the displaced persons camping in a relief camp. He assured them of building houses in a safe location. Meanwhile, the rain situation has stabilized near Maharashtra border, but inflow into reservoirs in Krishna Basin remains high. All the reservoirs in the Kaveri Basin are receiving good inflow of waters. KRS, Kabini, Himvati and Harangi dams are filled to the brim. The department forecast says that widespread light to moderate rains are likely over coastal Karnataka, Kodagu, Hassan, Chikmagalur and Shimoga districts.
Now let us take a look at today's weather update. In the national capital Delhi, minimum temperature was recorded at 26 degrees Celsius, while maximum temperature is expected to be around 33 degrees, with generally cloudy sky with heavy rain. Mumbai will have generally cloudy sky with moderate rain. The minimum temperature was 24 degrees Celsius and maximum will be around 28 degrees. Chennai will have generally cloudy sky with light rain or drizzle, and the minimum temperature was 27 degrees Celsius and maximum is expected at 33 degrees. Kolkata will have generally cloudy sky with a few spells of rain or thunder showers. The minimum temperature in the metropolis was 27 degrees Celsius, while maximum will be around 30 degrees. In Hyderabad, the minimum temperature was 22 degrees Celsius, while the maximum will settle at around 26 degrees with generally cloudy sky with moderate rain. Bengaluru will be witnessing generally cloudy sky with light rain. The minimum temperature was 21 degrees Celsius and maximum will be 27 degrees. The monsoon is active and lies south of its normal position. A cyclonic circulation lies over northeast Madhya Pradesh, extending up to mid-tropospheric levels, and another over South Gujarat region in mid-tropospheric levels. A low-pressure area has formed over North Bay of Bengal and neighbourhood. It is likely to become more marked during next 24 hours and move westwards during the next 3 to 4 days. In view of this widespread rainfall, with isolated heavy to very heavy falls, very likely over Gujarat, Maharashtra, Goa, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand and Odisha. Isolated extremely heavy falls is also likely over southwest Odisha today. Fairly widespread rainfall activity with heavy falls very likely over northwest India, including western Himalayan region till tomorrow, and decrease thereafter. Isolated heavy to very heavy rainfall also very likely over Jammu and Kashmir, Ladakh, Gilgit-Baltistan, Muzaffarabad and West Uttar Pradesh today. Isolated extremely heavy falls likely over Tripura today and tomorrow. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh appreciates the role of Navy in Operation Samudra Setu and innovation in fighting coronavirus pandemic. Over 20 lakh people in the country recover from COVID-19. Recovery rate improves to 73.64%. And with that, we end the midday news.